up, folks? Welcome into another edition of From the Pressbox with Wade Neely. I'm your host, Pulaski Citizen Sports Editor Wade Neely. So good to be with you guys. Thursday, November 2nd edition of the program. Holy cow, we're already into the month of November, and holy cow, we have a great show lined up for you today. Tremendous segment coming up in just a matter of moments. We will be condensed on the front and back end because we had a very expansive and very entertaining sit down with Bridgeforth basketball head coach Erin Hickman, formerly Erin Freeman. She dominated the courts at Giles County High School. She dominated the courts at Martin Methodist College / UT Southern. And now Erin Hickman is in her second season as boys basketball coach at BMS. She's in her first season as the ladies coach as well. Tremendous show and tremendous segment with Erin. Always a treat to catch up with her. With that being said, hoop season is upon us, but we still got a little football to get into. And let's dive right in, folks. The Richland Raiders, their season comes to a close last week. They fought valiantly, but could not come up with the win that they needed at undefeated Moore County. So Richland falls to 3-7. Disappointing season, disappointing end to the season in particular, as they lost a lot of close games early and then kind of faded toward the stretch. But they still have a decent little core and some promising players on the way in terms of middle school talent. So, Richland should be on the up and up. But again, they close out their season with a tough loss last Thursday to Moore County. Giles County, meanwhile, Bobcats are rolling, folks. They rack up 41-7, the win versus Sequatchie County in the region championship. GCHS wins the region for a third straight year. What that means is they are the number one seed. What that means is they will take on Chattanooga Brainerd this Friday night on Pulaski Citizen Live. You can catch our broadcast. Yours truly, Chris Bledsoe, will have the call as Brainerd comes to town. Played them last year. Brainerd had some really key and significant departures. Most notably, their head coach departed, and most notably, one of their elite playmakers departed in the offseason. So Brainerd kind of wobbling coming into the playoffs. But it is playoff time here in Giles County. And if you don't win, you're eliminated. And so GCHS will have a tough task on Friday night versus Chattanooga Brainerd. Quick shout-outs in the Pulaski Citizen this week. Had an awesome time catching up with UT Southern women's soccer coach Will Austin, as the Firehawks head coach is now standing alone atop the program's all-time wins record leader board. 137 career victories notched earlier this year puts him above Jerry Cleary as the program's all-time wins record holder. So shout out to Coach Will. If you've not picked up a Pulaski Citizen print copy this week, you can do so. The story is also on PulaskiCitizen.com. Tremendous segment and interview with Coach Austin featured in that article. Also, we had a blast from the past, as it were, as Mark Mize was out at Richland last Friday night as the Raiders turned back the clock for their annual baseball alumni game. Had 20-plus, 25-plus players out there. Some more recent alum, but some really turned back the clock. So make sure you read about that. That's all featured in print and, again, online at PulaskiCitizen.com. Without further ado, folks, we are going to jump right into a great segment. On the other side of this timeout, we sat down with Bridgeforth basketball coach Erin Hickman. We talk a little bit of everything. We talk about the Bobcats. We talk about the Lady Bobcats. We talk about molding and growing young men and young women through the game of basketball. And, of course, we sprinkle in a little football. She's a huge sports fan, so we talk a little football as well. It's all part of a great sit-down, and it comes your way right after this. Sit tight, folks. You're watching From the Press Box with Wade Neely, and we are back right after this.
He shoots, and he scores!
guys, welcome back in. We're coming to you live here on From the Pressbox with another segment. We're on the campus of Pulaski Elementary School. I cannot tell you the last time that I've been on campus of PES, but it's good to be here. We're with Erin Freeman. She is the first-year girls, second-year boys Bridgeforth basketball coach. I had to make sure I got that right, but thank you, Erin, so much for joining us. It's good to be with you here this morning.
How you doing, Wade?
I am great, and I'm excited to be here. Number one, like I said, I haven't been on PES campus in a while, so it's good to be back with the smaller student athletes of the world. But you're kind of in that middle school realm. When we wanted to catch up with you, obviously great career at Giles County, great career at Martin Methodist / UT Southern, and now you're at Bridgeforth. And holy smokes, basketball season's already here, right?
Yes, it's up and rolling. The girls have started 4-0, and the boys we're getting rolling with 2-2 right now. Really starting to find ourselves now that we're getting some games under our belts. The guys had no scrimmages. The girls got to scrimmage Richland and another middle school before the season started, so they kind of got their footing early on. But now the guys are starting to kind of get a feel for the game and game speed right now.
Absolutely, and we'll touch on Richland a little bit later in this segment because. One of the reasons we wanted to sit down with you is we got a big rivalry game coming up next week, but more on that later. But let's just talk about kind of your coaching journey. How was it when you had to finally make that decision, hey, I'm hanging up the sneakers, my playing career is done, and how easy was it for you to kind of transition into coaching?
It's always hard to kind of give up playing, when you love the sport so much, and leaving 2 years of eligibility at UT Southern, it was very difficult, but knowing that it was time, being a young mother, being a student athlete and a mother, I knew it was time to kind of step off and be a better at home person with my family. So I let it go, but being away for a couple months, it shows you how much you miss it. Yeah. So it was very important to me to get back into coaching. So a couple years ago, I got to coach with Missy alongside her at the high school with the girls. After a season of that, I felt pretty good about the knowledge I'd learned. The ability to lead, I felt a lot more confident. So when the Bridgeforth boys opportunity came open, it came open right at the beginning of last year. School had already started and they didn't have anyone to fill that position. So as soon as Coach Bailey asked, was I interested, I was on board. I was excited to coach guys. Their athletic ability at that age and their speed is just very exciting. So I was excited to have that opportunity and just get to start rolling at a young age.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody's surprised to hear that you would pivot right into coaching. It seems like a perfect fit, and we have certainly enjoyed watching your kind of young career take off. And then, just because that's not enough, you decided to add a little more to your plate. How did the process come about now you also being the head coach of our girls program?
So last year I assisted the girls alongside Coach Rose, and we had an awesome year. Had Ashlyn Coleman and a lot of returning 8th graders now, but 7th graders from last year. So assisting them, I had already gotten a relationship with them. And when Coach Rose had kind of made her decision to hang it up, I wanted to step right in, knowing that I had already built some relationship with the girls and knowing that their talent, knowing things that they have learned last year and just being able to build on that. I thought it was important to have someone that they had already known to come in.
Yeah, that's a big, we talk a lot about that continuity process,
yes.
And that seems like that's huge. Let's dive into, I guess, both teams. Who are, it's middle school, so kids come, kids go, kind of like at the high school and even the collegiate level, but who are some youngsters that you're excited on both squads to be able to coach, whether they're getting a lot of minutes or getting in the score sheet a lot? Who are just some of those kids you're very excited about?
Well, for the girls, we've got Maria Holt. She's our point guard. She is outstanding ball handler. She's just a very exciting player to watch. She knows how to get the entire team involved, and she makes everyone on the court look very good. So just having her as our point guard and our leader is awesome. We've got 6'2", Akaria Reese. Yeah, she's a powerhouse. She's learning to be confident with her size now. Anytime that you're a young girl and you're 6'2", it's difficult to be that big, but also to step into your role and know, like, hey, I'm stronger than everybody else, but actually using it. So it's been very important having Missy alongside us. Missy being a post in her days. So she's been a big time help for Akaria Reese, and then honestly, all of my girls. Those two, they're a big eye catcher just because size and then flashiness. But those girls, they work so hard. They are a pressing, fast team. They love to dive on the floor. They are just nitty gritty. So exciting team all the way around to watch. And for our guys team, I'm sure everybody's heard of Todd Gardner. He is just an athlete.
Can't say I'm familiar with the guy.
A man amongst boys, he is. He's not even a basketball player you'd think, but he can just get out there and dominate with speed, force, and he has such a knowledge about the game, about all sports. He's almost another coach on the floor. It's amazing having him alongside. He's a great kid, keeps everybody invested. Even in our hard losses, you got a pick-me-up guy in him, even when things aren't going his way. Like I said, he's just a great exemplary guy to have on your team and follow. And
kind of in that same vein, we see a little bit at the high school level, kids that have success on the football field go deep in the playoffs, kind of like a Kamari Turner.
Exactly. Yes.
Come in and maybe not the best pure out-and-out basketball player, but that winning mentality seems like it bleeds over. And we saw that with the guys last year as they made a run all the way to the Final Four.
Yes, sir. I mean, that toughness that O'Connor has instilled in those guys, and they can just step right over and without even practicing, they can get over and play. And it's because of their knowledge and that will to stay disciplined, I think, that they have. They transfer from football over into basketball. Kimball has that same standard, so I truly do believe that that winning standard and that toughness is very important at the high school level.
You said something about your ladies team that I don't think anybody would be surprised about. You said they like to press, and you said they like to run fast. Sounds a lot like you back in your playing days.
Hey.
Was that something that you kind of personally installed, or is that just kind of the makeup of this team this year?
It definitely helps the makeup of the team. We've got some sixth graders who come in that are very, very talented. They've been able to step in and play. We've got Collins Gentry and Piper Morris. They're sixth graders, and they're very fast players. Mm-hmm. So having 10 girls that can all run a suicide in the time that you want it. I mean, you've got to put in a press. And like I said, having Missy alongside, she was my coach in high school. We always had success on the press, playing hard defense. So having her alongside me and us instilling that press in this team, it's definitely an identity of who we're going to be. And having a 6'2" girl guarding the ball helps too.
Gives you some matchup options
helps.
for sure.
Yes,
you mentioned Missy Harper, obviously great career as a player and as a coach at Giles County. How did that process come about, getting her on staff, and how valuable has she been?
She has been tremendous. Us having the exact same IQ, or not necessarily IQ, but same playbook. Everything that I learned was from her in high school, and I've just built on that over time. So us being able to connect and still remember all those plays, while also building on them and perfecting them to our team, it's been very tremendous. But getting her alongside, it was not easy. I didn't think that giving it up after she's given up a 15-year coaching career at the high school, I thought that she might want to enjoy a break. But after hounding her all summer, and her honestly having a summer off, her first summer off in 15 years with no basketball camp, I think she realized how much she missed it, while also having that opportunity to not be as committed as she once was, with middle school being less games and just not that pressure at the same as high school level. And she has a son playing UT Southern this year, Jack Harper. So our schedule worked very well. No intertwining games, so she gets to still be my sideline and his sideline too.
That's what I was going to ask. Is there a contract built in? Hey, if Jack is playing, I'm going to be out. But the schedule sounds like works out perfectly.
Yes, sir. It works out perfectly. She only missed one game. She missed with Thorne because Jack's opened up at Cookville against Tennessee Tech. Shouts out to UT Southern for 2 years in a row with a win against a D1. So hard to miss that game. I couldn't be mad at her. Jack's like a little brother to me. I've been watching him since he was 5 years old.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. I can't wait to go catch one myself.
It's like I tell folks, I don't necessarily feel old. I got a birthday coming up. I don't feel old on my birthday, but I feel old when kids like you or yourself or Jack Harper that are used to being so small, now they're doing great things in our community. So that's kind of when I start feeling a little long in the tooth.
Yes,
I want to ask you, speaking of, it's not the only part of your career. Coaching is obviously a key piece, but you're also very involved here at PES with their PE department. And I guess how has that process been learning as a young educator, and where do you see yourself going with that?
Teaching pre-K through second grade, physical education, it's probably the easiest way to learn patience. I have learned so much just from these little kids, but it's probably the love and the, like I said, just the patience that you learn and learn how to nurture and care for each child and their different needs. You can't beat the feeling that you get from this age. It's pure. Children are pure, and like I said, I can't say enough about how much I love my job here. Definitely see myself staying here for years. I can't see myself leaving. I love the Cub Run. We'll have to get you.
I was going to say mini Cub Runs in your future.
Yeah, mini Cub Runs. Yes, we'll have to get you over here and do some announcing for us. Get them hyped up before. You haven't been over here enough. We'll have to get you over.
And now I can actually run a little bit too.
Yeah,
so maybe we can do a little crossover there. I look forward to that. I assume you're going to still keep tabs on both the high school and with UT Southern. Seems like you're one of those coaches that just coaching the team's not enough.
No, yeah, I enjoy watching basketball, football, every sport at all levels. Stayed up late watching the Rangers last night. Put a beat down.
Yeah, big World Series.
Yeah,
win.
but like I said, I just love sports. I was watching UT Southern last night online as well. They had a tough loss against Freed Hardeman, but I'm going to support as much as I can. Being an alumni at every school in this county, I mean, it's hard not to be. You want to see your former schools win and have success at all times, which is another reason why I was excited to give back to Bridgeforth and be a part of their team again.
And I know it's early in your coaching career, but how rewarding is that process? We talk to the high school coaches, and you see when that kid leaves and goes on to the next level and plays. But it's kind of true with you guys as well. How rewarding has it been, even though it's in your first couple of seasons, when you see a kid take off from Bridgeforth and end up at the high school level and go on to do great things?
For example, Ashlyn Coleman and Kason Howard, they're two people that moved up last year from 8th grade on to 9th. And just hearing their excitement about moving on to a new program, how involved they are, it's awesome knowing that you're still important enough for them to share those experiences with you. I mean, Case and Howard and Ashley have been at every home game and both away games as well. So it just shows that you still had an impact on them, and they will never understand the impact they had on me and my continuity to continue coaching. Like I said, they definitely made it easier for me last year when times were hard, the losses. Just knowing that they were going to come in and give 100% and also be very coachable, it makes it easier to come do your job every day.
And sometimes at the middle school level, the effort is really all that sometimes you want or you even need,
yes.
potentially, it seems like.
Oh, most definitely. You don't want to teach them too much at that age, overflow their brains. You just want them to know that if they come in, give the attitude, the effort, and just be coachable and patient. Patience is the most important thing I'm teaching right now. But like I said, doing those things, success will come, and even if it's not in wins, you will learn so much about the game and yourself doing those things. Then, I mean, you're going to grow regardless.
That's huge. You mentioned coaching, and we're talking Bridgeforth. I got to sneak in one question. What's it been like being around a coach like Coach Scott Bailey, who's been there, let's just say for a while, and seems like he just still is so involved with the programs, whether he's an official coach or not. Seems like he's really a part of everything.
Oh, he is. He's one call away anytime I've got questions about rules. As far as he gets a lot of things ready for me since I am here at Pulaski Elementary during the day. He'll get the jerseys ready. Anything that I need, him and Crystal Rose, the coach from last year for the girls, they're right beside me. And like I said, it's always important to have a good guy who's knowledgeable. Coach Bailey, I don't think anybody knows TSSAA rules book in Pulaski probably as good as he does, and that's for every sport. So, like I said, it is very important to have a guy with that knowledge behind you at all times.
I know he's been a valuable resource for us as a Pulaski citizen, whether it's information or things like that. So I can only imagine at the level that you guys are at.
Yes.
A couple quick fun questions, then we'll go back to the basketball. I got to ask you, first of all, we got a huge matchup at the Brickyard on Friday night. Playoff football, does it get any better than a Friday night at Sam Davis with playoff implications?
It does not. The weather's getting cold. You're going to see everybody bundled up. It's going to look more packed than normal. You know that OC's got a game plan, and those guys are going to come ready and fueled. We just got to do our part, being loud and proud and as fans and root those guys on. I'm definitely confident in those guys. I know that all week they're preparing and doing everything it takes for a win. So, is it Brainerd? Is that
Got Chattanooga Brainerd coming in Friday.
I know we've faced them in the last couple of years, so it's very important. We were trying to get all the way back up to Alcoa again. So, like I said, this is just step one. We gotta do what it takes to win.
Absolutely. And speaking of building a program, we know you keep tabs on your fantasy football. I had to sneak in a question. You said you got off to a little bit of a hot start, but it hadn't been so great. Who are you having to coach up on your team this year that's kind of letting you down a little bit?
Tell you what, losing Eckler for a little bit, that hurt me, but him coming back in, it's going to help. But I've lost a lot of running backs. I've got Tajay Spears. I'm hoping he's going to punch some in for me. Big Titans fan here, so hoping that I can get him to punch one in. Will Levis was looking pretty good, so maybe we can get some short passes to the side, get him to punch one in there for me. But if he doesn't show up, I'm not looking too good this week either.
Okay, Levis to Spears will hopefully out as they get ready to play Thursday night. This show will air on Thursday, by the way, Coach Freeman and or Coach Hickman, as it were. A Freudian slip there from back in the day. And so as we dive in, we've got a big broadcast. You guys have big games. We have a big broadcast coming up Monday night. What can you tell us about a huge showdown? It's a county rivalry. We have Richland and Bridgeforth, a classic battle between two quality teams.
Well, Richland's always going to be well coached. They've got Hall and Lovelace, and like I said, you just know they're going to be well coached, ready to play hard. The girls got to scrimmage against Richland this summer, or not this summer, right before the season. So that was a very good look at them. They played some tough man defense, and we didn't come out with the win, but we showed a lot of promise. So I'm excited to now having a good look at what they do. I'm excited to try to plan for them and see what we can do to improve from that scrimmage on. And then on the guy side, like I said, Lovelace, you know that he is going to come in. His guys are going to be fast, prepared. They got very strong guys in the paint, so just coaching my guys up for physicality within the next week. Richland, they got some strong guys. I know last year, I don't know if he's still playing, but Schrader, he was a sixth grader, and he came in and dominated. So, like I said, getting them ready for that physicality, all those guys remember. So they're excited to, like I said, know that bodies are going to be flying in practice within the next couple of practices.
We're looking forward to that. I totally remembered. I got to get a bonus question in. Tracy Randolph, the man, the myth, the legend. He helps you guys out on the sidelines as well.
Yes, sir. He's on the guys' sideline with us. He also sits with the girls, and he makes it to both practices as much as he can. But he's huge to us. He teaches the little things that I sometimes forget to notice, like just placement when you're setting screens, rolling the right way, hands. Just he has such a knowledge about the little things that, like I said, I would overlook. Yeah. Especially not being a post, being a point guard. I kind of sometimes forget down in the post just little things about blocking out when you see shots go up. But he is tremendous, and he is very calm. And where I'm going in and I'm going crazy screaming, he can always reel back what I said, refine it, and get it through to the guys and the girls both get it in their heads in the way that they can filter it out to what they need instead of just, coaches rambunctious, the passion is showing. Like I said, he can always calm it down. We definitely complement each other very well, and he's been in every sport. He's football, baseball. Every sports team knows him, so just having him around and everybody respecting him is important too.
Absolutely, we'd be remiss if we didn't give him a shout out because he does so much for not just you guys, but like you said, the community at large. Anything we missed? This has been a fun sit down here today.
Oh yeah, a big shout out to the franchise, Tracy Randolph's son. I did not mention him. He played for me last year. I have been noticing he is really stepping up on that JV field and getting some varsity reps as well. I had to shout him out. Great kid. You can't say enough about his behavior and just his approach to school, life, everything. He's an awesome kid.
We got some great student athletes here, and it's athletes was kind of the focus of this show, but really it's more about the students and being great kids.
Yes, I mean, and that's one thing I can say about both my girls and boys team. I've been fortunate. Most of them are all AB honor roll students, and we push that. We push the education first. And like I said, they're just great kids. You don't hear much chatter about their behavior in schools. They're there to learn, and then they come into practice and they work hard. And that's, as a coach, that's what you pray for. That's
all you could ask for, and then more. So whether we're at a Bridgeforth soccer, baseball, softball, football, basketball game, or all the above for Giles County, or even watching just MLB or fantasy football, it seems like we know where to find you.
Yes, sir.
Coach Aaron Hickman, thank you so much
Yes,
for
sir.
your time.
Appreciate you, Wade.
Best of luck next week, and it's always good to catch up. We talk to you real soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to take a quick time out, folks. On the other side of this break, we will wrap it up with the big finish. You're watching From the Press Box with Wade Neely, and we are back right after this.
It's the biggest racing show of the year, Friday through Sunday, November 3rd through 5th at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. 6 fast-paced divisions of racing on the quarter mile Friday night, pole qualifying and 3 big feature events Saturday night, and the Curb Records Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers All-American 400 on Sunday afternoon. Racing starts at 6:30 Friday, 5 o'clock Saturday, and 1 o'clock Sunday. Tickets available at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway.racing or at the gate on race day. It's the 39th All-American 400 weekend, Friday through Sunday, November 3rd through 5th. Get your tickets now.
We're back on the other side of this timeout. We just wrapped up a tremendous sit-down with our good friend and Lady Bobcat and Bobcat basketball coach at Bridgeforth, Aaron Hickman. Again, she terrorized courts as a member of the Giles County Lady Bobcat basketball program for 4 electric years. One of the great 4-year runs in all of GCHS Lady Bobcat history. And then also went on to star as an all-conference performer at UT Southern. Let's dive right in to our final segment. We'll close with words on Giles County. But I gotta kind of strut. I gotta kind of peacock a little bit. But I can only do it so much. 16-0. I kid you not, folks. I just asked our editor and our publisher, Carrie Jane Malone and Scott Stewart, just a few weeks ago. I said, has anyone from the Fearless Forecaster panel actually gone 16-0? They couldn't remember one. So I was strutting my stuff on Sunday as I started getting a few texts from friends, and they said, holy cow, I think you went 16-0. Unfortunately, as I did go 16-0, number one, I was not the only one to go undefeated. Mark Mize, who's our current leader now with 100 wins, 44 losses, he goes undefeated. But I couldn't make up much ground as a lot of the picks were very similar. But 16-0 is 16-0, baby. And we had 7, yes, I said 7 players in this week's panel that finished undefeated. But Janita Kurt wins on the tiebreaker. She wins our $900 jackpot. So now the pot goes back to $100. Make sure you get your forecasters picks in by the end of business on Friday. With that being said, around and round we go. Here are picks for this week. Give me Georgia over Missouri. Give me Washington at USC. I think that game will be close, but I think Washington wins. Everybody's picking Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. I don't like the fact that Oklahoma State are playing so early. There's a few rivalry games that have gotten tossed in the schedule earlier this year, that being one. Give me the Bedlam game the day after Thanksgiving, or the weekend of Thanksgiving every year if you can. Penn State bounces back after a weird game versus Indiana. I think they take care of the Terps of Maryland. Give me Texas over Kansas State. A lot of these are unanimous picks in our Fearless Forecaster pool, but give me Texas over K-State. Give me Alabama over LSU. Would not be surprised if LSU comes out and plays well, maybe even gets a win, but I think Bama wins that one playing at home. Give me Ole Miss over Texas A&M. And yes, folks, give me Clemson over Notre Dame. Dabo had the quote, what did he say? If we didn't lead the nation in fumbles, we'd be undefeated. I don't necessarily know that I agree with that. They are down in Death Valley there, as it were. But give me Clemson over Notre Dame this weekend for reasons that I really don't necessarily need to elaborate on if you know about my personal fandom. A lot of folks, I thought I'd be creative and maybe go Arizona over UCLA. Virtually everybody's picking Arizona in that contest. Give me Kentucky over Mississippi State. Certainly give me Auburn over Vanderbilt. Shout out to good friends of the program, former UT Southern men and women's golf coach Tim Kang. Spelled King, pronounced Kang. He's a good friend of ours. He's a huge Auburn fan. He's going to be up in Nashville watching the game. And shout out to former UT Southern golfer himself, Jackson Rose. Not every day you hear or see about a college golfer getting a job at a SEC football staff, but our buddy Jackson Rose is on staff at Vanderbilt. Throw all that out the window. I still think Auburn takes care of business. Go ahead and give me West Virginia over BYU. Then when we get into the professional ranks, give me the Texans over the Buccaneers. Give me the Eagles on Sunday versus the Cowboys. Holy cow, everybody's picking the Eagles. Kind of wish maybe I had gone with the Cowboys now just to try and have a chance to make a game up there. But also give me the Bills over the Bengals, and then give me the Falcons bouncing back over the Vikings. The Vikings just trading for Josh Dobbs, but I think the Falcons bounce back after that one. Speaking of bouncing back, as we close out forecasters, how about the debut for Will Levis last week? 4 touchdowns in his Titans debut. Tennessee has a Thursday night game at Pittsburgh. Always a tough place to play. I'm not sure which way that game is going to go. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be ugly, but we'll see how that one shapes up. By the time you watch this show, that game could already be decided. That is about all the time we've got on our show today. But again, I want to thank Aaron Hickman for dropping by. And a reminder before we close things out, tomorrow night, Friday night, you can listen to Giles County versus Brainerd on Pulaski Citizen Live. You can tune in to yours truly and Chris Bledsoe by downloading the Mixler app and searching PCLGCHS, or visiting PulaskiCitizen.com and clicking Pulaski Citizen Live. So long from Pulaski Citizen headquarters. We'll see you next time on From the Press Box with Wade Neely. Hope you guys had a safe Halloween, and into the month of November we go. We'll see you next time here from Citizen HQ. Wade Neely saying so long on From the Press Box.